Hi, my name is Koku with blackfilm.com, and I am here with Lemuel Plummer. He is the CEO, the boss, and the founder of Zeus Network. Thank you so much for speaking with me.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm really excited to speak with you because it's always obviously fun to speak with the talent, but it's also very fun to speak to people who make things happen behind the scenes. So I want to sort of talk about how everything began with you. And from what I understand, your family actually had television networks.
Yes, yes. I grew up in the business and was very, very fortunate and blessed to have parents who created, several, networks, and I was able to learn a lot and get a lot of hands-on experience, and so it was great, and it taught me a lot about production and distribution and pretty much all the ins and outs as far as running a network. So really, really exciting times. Like when I was younger, I had a lot of freedom to just experiment and dabble into all the minutia and nuances of production and
Mhm.
post and all sorts of things. So it was great. But yeah, my parents owned several networks back in the day.
And that was back in the day, back in your hometown,
Yep, back in Detroit, Michigan.
back in
Detroit,
Detroit.
Michigan. Yep.
Okay, the D, right?
The
So yeah,
D, the D.
I'm from Chicago originally, so
Okay.
there's that commonality there. I always find that people from Detroit, generally speaking, generally tend to be
Right. Yeah.
really cool folks.
Yes.
Chicago, Detroit.
Thank you. Same. Thank you. Same here. Same to our Chicago neighbors.
Yeah,
So,
we always get along.
absolutely.
So when you talk about going from that sort of getting that education from your family, how does that lead you to the path to where you are now, where you ended up just coming up with your own subscription-based service? Like, how much does your family have input in terms of what you do, or did you just sort of take the baton and just run?
I kind of took the baton and just ran, but I think that it was they were a big part of introducing me to the business, and
Mhm.
so like I said, I was very fortunate to learn a lot from not just my parents but everybody that worked for the networks, and but yeah, I just had a goal to really come out to LA and do something a little bit more mainstream and different. They had a linear network, so completely different than having a streaming service, and for me, I just wanted to come out here, make my mark. I was 21 when I sold my first show to BET. Had a deal over there for a couple years with my partners LJ and Jason,
Okay.
and after that, I just started my own full service production company, and we sold some really really hit shows and great projects to some of the NBCU networks and Viacom networks like Preachers of LA, and we franchised it to, the Westbrooks on BT, Music Moguls. I worked with Viola Davis. We sold a series over at TV1, and I don't know, it was just something inside of me that just was just really hungry to kind of be more entrepreneurial
Mhm.
and to really like want to create a network that provided content to a specific niche audience and to give it to them at their convenience, choice, and control. And so for me, it was important to do that. And we launched the network a couple years ago, and we've been having a lot of success. But my parents, obviously they play a huge role, and and again, instilling so many different things in me has really helped to shape me into who I am as a person, but also wanting to get some things going. So
So I love to hear you speak because obviously I looked at some of your interviews and I was just very inspired because you have just a very a way of explaining very technical terms in a way that's like palatable and that many of us
mhm.
can come to understand and know. So one of the things that you talked about was VOD services, the types, and I just want you to talk about that so that people understand that there are different types of ways that television can be delivered and in terms of content. I thought that was just so interesting how you put that into words.
Yeah, yeah. Right now we are in a way in this ecosystem in universe of VOD, video on demand. And so it's how people like to watch it. They like to watch content at their convenience, choice, and control.
Hmm.
And so for me, we decided to pursue more of the subscription video on demand, which is you pay a monthly fee, you get access to content ad free, and then you have your advertising video on demand platforms, and then you have your transactional video on demand platforms. And so I think that I grew up in the traditional linear era,
Hmm.
and that's been great. I think it's it's it is. I hate to say the word dying, but it's changing.
Hmm.
It's changing, and I think less folks are more interested in watching content, based upon appointment, times and
Yeah,
they don't watch appointment TV like
yeah,
they
that's
used
true.
to. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Nobody wants to go home and watch a program at 9 o'clock. And have to wait to watch commercials. They want to get a different type of experience, and
Hmm.
so VOD for me was the way to go. And so that's what we're pursuing. And yeah, like Netflix, we offer original programming. We're on every device, every major device from Apple, every Apple product, your Apple TV to every iOS phone, Android, Roku, smart TVs, Xbox. We're available pretty much on every device globally, and
Hmm.
so that gives us the opportunity to reach a lot more people. And
Hmm.
so, every day, every month, every year, we're growing tremendously. We're scaling. We're reaching more folks. And I just decided to do something different. I'm not trying to compete with Netflix, right? So for me, it was really about finding a specific niche audience and catering to them, which I think is a huge audience, right?
Hmm.
And so I that's what we've been doing, and it's been working. And we've been doing everything we can to put out more content, high quality content, and try to accelerate, the process as far as getting more material and shows out, and that's what we're doing. And so, right now we've been doing a lot of unscripted, um, and we are gearing up to do scripted projects as well.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, yeah.
I was
So
wondering. Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, so it's great.
Yeah. So, okay. So, in terms of the unscripted content that you have, I mean, pretty much every show at some particular point, whether that's weekly, monthly, or just at any point, there's always going to be a clip on the shows that you have on your network that just goes super viral, for whatever reason. But then there's also the conversation around the type of content that's on Zeus. So when you're talking to people and they're asking you, why are you amplifying these people that may be considered, let's say, contentious personalities? What do you have to say about that pushback? I mean, people are watching it, so there is an audience, but what do you have to say about the pushback? When people meet you, they're like, he's not the kind of guy that's going to go punch somebody. So it's like,
Maybe I am. No, I'm just
yeah,
kidding.
exactly.
No, no,
When the
no.
camera's
I
off,
would never do that.
I
No,
don't
I
think
mean,
so.
I think for us, it is it's not about creating salacious, conflict driven programming.
Hmm.
And I know people can probably think that's what we're doing. We're not. We're creating authentic, real, uncensored, unfiltered, raw content that we think people wanna watch, and they want to.
Hmm.
I think when before I've sold shows, right? I know the process in and out. When you're uh, developing something, and when you're trying to get an agent to set meetings, and when you finally sell something to a network, what's required. And so, for me, that experience has changed quite a bit, because I wanted to focus on providing content and material that, again, like I said, was authentic and real. When
Hmm.
you're working with more traditional networks, they have to worry about advertisers, so
Mm.
they can't go as loud and provocative with the content as we can, because we're a streaming service, and we can deliver more content that audience can relate to. And I think that, yeah, when you're talking about some of our shows, do we experience some pretty intense moments, and does it get a little hostile? Sure. Do people find those certain moments viral and entertaining? Sure.
Mhm.
But I think that there's a lot of layers to our shows. I think when you watch 49 minutes, or when you actually watch the entire series, you get a different type. You get different types of range, a different range of emotions, right? You
Mhm.
get some levity, you get some emotional moments, you get, yeah, the fights and dramas. So we're not just focused on creating shows that are just
Mhm.
about fighting.
Mhm.
Even though that component is there,
Mhm.
it's not like we just want to create hit shows,
Mhm.
and we just want to create shows that are relatable and raw and real, and that's what we're putting out. So I don't really listen or pay attention to necessarily the maybe some backlash or negative feedback, but
Mhm.
look, we're doing great. Our numbers are
Through the
amazing.
roof.
Sure. So
I think what's really important that people should know too, that's very different about you, is that you give people executive production credits, and you let people be hands-on on their own projects. So, uh, I mean, regardless of what the criticism could be, I mean, people are hands-on in their own projects to make the decision as far as what gets on the air, and I think that's actually quite rare. You know.
Yeah, no, it
Hmm.
is. For me, I come from traditional. I
Hmm.
understand how brutal that process is. People don't get those types of opportunities to get, like you said, producer credits, EP credits. They gotta wait years to
Hmm.
move up a ladder that some person created. You know,
Hmm.
and so for me, I think that we just at Zeus, we allow our talent to EP our shows. They monetize in a different way. Where they have equity in the show, they're making money in different ways, and even the folks behind the scenes, are getting certain opportunities that they would never get. And so that's to me, that's like really important, and that's like something that I take pride in, and I'm happy to be able to offer jobs and
Hmm.
those types of opportunities and credits, and be able to educate folks on how it really works. And yeah, I'm kind of a boots on the ground, hands-on CEO, and so I love it. It's great. I enjoy educating people, teaching them,
Hmm.
showing them how it works, and again providing those opportunities. So yeah, we definitely do that, and we take pride in that.
And it's interesting because for whatever can be said about, some of the things people may say about who's on the network, what I have also noticed is that every single one of the talent and the people that are on the network, they seem to totally adore you, and they
Yeah.
trust you, and they put their trust in you. So how is it that you're able to get along with these people so well in a way that people would be like, I just never knew that this person had a soft side. But
Yeah,
then when
no,
they're
you know
around
what it
you,
is.
that's great.
No, I feel like I have a little bit of a disarming energy, and
Hmm.
so I don't, I think people do trust me. I like to reach people, closely, not in a way where I'm just so distant and like,
Hmm.
I could be that guy, sitting in an office with my feet up, and I don't want to do that.
Hmm.
I will talk to the production team. I'll most of the talent, they have my number, they could call me.
Yeah.
I'm not unreachable.
Hmm.
And so to me, that's important when you're trying to get people to, trust you when they have questions. I do have a great team, of course. I have a team of great, super educated, smart, talented folks that take a huge load off my shoulders,
Yeah.
and so for me, but it's just I am reachable,
Hmm.
and I like to help folks understand our process, and I like to give them that opportunity to to be involved in whatever area they want to be involved in, and specifically like the talent. Like, again, most traditional networks aren't gonna give them those types of opportunities. I see value in people that most folks in Hollywood don't see. And I
Hmm.
think that's what makes me different. And I think that's why they have a little bit of an affinity for
Hmm.
me, and and that care and that soft spot, because I see value in them. At the
Hmm.
end of the day, Hollywood, they chew you up, spit you out, don't care. You know what I mean? I'm just like, look, you're valuable. You mean something. Let's build a long-term relationship. Here's some opportunities. Here's how it works. And they appreciate that.
That's amazing. And then, I mean, the other thing is, and you talked about doing scripted and some scripted projects in the future as well on this network. But there's a way to go about things. So this is not the old school sort of like throw it, shove something in somebody's face and like,
Hmm.
please listen to my demo kind of thing. So how would somebody even like whether they're trying to reach out to you or trying to go forward with the project, what is a good way to try to break into this industry for someone that looks up to a Lemmy Plummer?
Man, it's I mean, for us, and I'll get to the pitch. I don't take unsolicited pitches. I don't do
Okay.
that for,
Mm-hmm.
a variety of reasons, just from liability, legal standpoint. I don't
Mm-hmm.
like to just take random pitches. But I think it is important to understand how this business works and to figure out what it is exactly you want to do. That's important. If you want to pursue production, here are the steps.
Yeah.
Here are the positions. You want to be a producer, here's how to be a producer. you
Mm-hmm.
want to you want to be a talent, here's the road. So for me, I like to tell people to figure out what you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
first, right? And and whatever opportunities you get, whether it's obviously independent of Zeus, or if Zeus has something to do with it, great. Like you'll have a great experience here. You'll learn. You'll move up very fast. But even without it, just work as hard as you can. Build those relationships. I like to encourage folks, to think a lot more entrepreneurial. I think that everybody can't be the boss, and that's okay. But I think understanding how things work, and for us as African Americans, I think it's important that we educate ourselves as much as possible, but also think think big. You know what I
Think big.
mean?
I think there's something you just said something that was very important that I think people should take away. And you said everybody can't be a boss. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think
Not
sometimes
at
you have
all.
to understand what your position is in that particular moment. And if that means being an assistant, because even you've done internships, no?
I was a PA. When I first moved out here when I was 21. Or not 20. Oh no, sorry, like 19 or 20. I can't remember. No, I was 19. What am I talking about? I was
You sold your
19.
first project at 21.
Right. I sold my first show at 21. I was a PA at 19
Okay.
for Extreme Makeover Home Edition. And I did that for a couple years, and it was painful, but it really helped me out tremendously. I needed that experience. I ended up just being able to shadow certain folks, it humbled me significantly. It made me realize, wow, like, there's a lot of people that, are trying to like get these opportunities. I'm in a blessed position. Like, so for me, it's just, yeah, you can't, everybody can't be the boss. You just got to embrace where you are, make the most of it, do the best you can. If you're a spiritual person, whatever you believe, believe things are going to work out. I do believe that what you put out, you'll receive. I do believe in manifestation. I think that education is important, and you can go as far as you want. I think it's really up to people. We're free. You want to start your own business, start your own business.
Start it.
People have to be risk takers.
Yeah.
I was a risk taker. Every decision that I
Definitely.
made, I took risk. I had no idea if it was going to work out. It was hard, but if you want to be the boss, yeah, you got to take risk. You got to be willing to, go through some crazy stuff. And it's not always peaches and cream, or, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. It's a lot of responsibility. You affect a lot of lives. You got to be willing to take that, take on all of that energy and take that position seriously. And so for me, either way, look, whether you're a boss or assistant, you're valuable, right?
Oh, yeah, that's important.
And just embrace where you are and do the best job you can do for you. And and again, I always encourage people to learn and do everything they can to get as much education as possible and to build those relationships, because things will play out in your favor.
Absolutely.
But either way, you're valuable.
I love that. That's a great message. And just going back to Zeus, I mean, this network that you've built, it's not expensive. This is actually a really great price point monthly to subscribe.
Yeah, we originally started off at $3.99. We increased our price about a little less than a year ago to $4.99. And part of that is we want to be able to put more content out. I don't want to raise the price like crazy, like you're seeing some of these other streamers. But I think, to your point, yeah, it's a very affordable price, $5 a month, $50 a year, to access nothing but original content, long form content, and premium. It's premium content. So for me, I think it's a great price, and we're utilizing every last penny to put in the shows to continue to grow and scale the company. And we just hope people continue to support us and subscribe and continue to watch the journey.
Absolutely. Well, I thank you so much for taking this interview. I know you don't do a lot of interviews, so I just feel very, very special to be able to ask you these questions.
No, absolutely. I appreciate it. No,
I know you're busy.
No, absolutely. These are great. These are great questions, and I appreciate you guys taking the time as well. This is really fun, and yeah, I'm really happy with where we are as a company, and I'm really optimistic about the future, and I think this year is going to be a really big year for us. We have some really cool projects coming out, and I'm excited about some of the new shows. So
I think it's good for people to hear you speak, to understand your motivations, and to hear how you think, because even when they talk about who's on the network, I mean, these are people and this is who they are, and they're executive producers and they're in charge of how they're being seen. So in a way that's actually being kind of, I mean, maybe like classist, or just it's being judgmental if you feel like this person doesn't deserve to have a show or shouldn't be on TV. I mean, those are judgments that are being made on someone else. That's not cool either. So I understand when everything's sort of fleshed out, and when you explain it to me, I get it completely. So that's pretty cool. I look forward to everything you have coming forward with the network.
Absolutely. Make sure you guys tune in every week. We premiere Jostens Cabaret
Oh, you know
Atlanta,
it.
and it's going up. A few episodes are out, and every week we'll be putting out new episodes. One More Chance, the reunion, is doing really well, and so we have Bad Boys and Baddies coming out, very soon, and so we're excited about those shows and a few others that we'll be announcing soon.
Absolutely. Once again, my name is Koku with blackfilm.com. I'm here with Lemuel Plummer. He is the CEO and founder of a network called Zeus. The Zeus
Yes.
Network. Really, really, really big deal. So I'm really glad he got to speak with me. Thank you so much, Lemmy. I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. All right,
Take
you have a
care.
good one.
If you want to see more content like this on blackfilm.com, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell.